On tonight's BBC World News special documentary, we travel to America, to the backwoods of rural Virginia, to try and uncover the truth surrounding an unusual legend that involves a fabled cookie tree, and the evil witch of the woods that guards it from people hoping to harvest its cookie-like flowers. Tonight you will meet Lauren Strange, his sister Jill, and their cousin John, who have over many years, since early childhood, sought out its existence. My name is Poppy Kokinas and this is BBC World News special documentary, Quest of the Cookie Tree. I first learned about the cookie tree browsing American urban legend videos on YouTube. After much research, I tracked down a gentleman in Virginia by the name of John. He told me the YouTube video was a total fake, but he couldn't say anything more about it over the phone. He then said if I came there, to Virginia, in exchange for sex and a bowl of macaroni and cheese, he would give me more information about the real cookie tree and take me to meet his cousins with BBC cameras to document their story.
When we were kids, my cousin and I went and looked for this cookie tree, but we never found the cookie tree. I don't know why we got lost in the woods looking for this cookie tree, but we saw a witch instead. And it was the scariest thing that I've ever seen, that he had ever seen. Just a witch. The witch was up in a tree. And we looked up into the tree and we saw this face. Nothing but a face. There was no body. There were no arms, no legs, no anything else. It was just a face staring down at us from the trees, from between the branches. And it was the most terrifying thing I have ever seen at this point in my life. But the fear will never ever compare to the disappointment of not finding that cookie tree.
We had to stop the interview for several hours as John fled the room sobbing and locked himself in a closet. Talking to him through the door, he explained that he was already upset before we arrived because he had found what appeared to be a human hair in his blueberry muffin earlier that morning. He then drove me out to meet his cousins, exclaiming over and over that all would be clear when we arrived there. I was only to be met with more confusion and the ruination of my shoes after stepping in what was explained to me to be freshly laden possum excrement. We met Jill. She was standing at the edge of a thick forest. She told us only 2 hours ago Lauren had finished binge-watching every episode of Bear Grylls and had gone off into the woods in search of the cookie tree, exclaiming as he left, "I will not return from the woods until I find the cookie tree, even if I have to suck marrow from the asses of 75 dung beetles every half hour for sustenance." Jill then told John they must each find a proper keisaku stick for the ceremony before they go looking for the tree. A keisaku or awakening stick is traditionally wielded by the Jikijitsu to rid a person of the monkey mind. These people wear no Jikijitsu. Still, I was willing to risk mine and my cameraman's life and follow them into the woods in hopes of seeing the elusive cookie tree. I stood aghast watching them perform the protection ceremony. This level of monkey-mindedness has never before been captured on film until now. John seemed to grow increasingly agitated with Jill, saying she was pointing her stick the wrong way. And he also began talking to the cameraman in condescending tones, remarking, "This is no biscuit tree we are looking for out there, you limey wanker." At the height of the ceremony, John assumed the role of Jikijitsu. Jill was unable to continue the journey. With Lauren somewhere in the wilderness and Jill unconscious, our fate now lies in John's hands. We walked in obvious circles for several hours in 80% hellish humidity looking for the cookie tree. The cameraman needed desperately to rest as he was carrying nearly 86 pounds of equipment. John insisted that we keep moving, that the cookie tree was definitely around the next corner. Next captured on film, John began verbally assaulting BBC cameraman Harry Undersacks. After Undersacks had innocently asked him what color the hair had been on his muffin this morning.
Yo, what the fuck's up, man? What's going on? What are you doing? What'd you say? Hey, asshole. I just asked you what the fuck you said. What's going on? Eh? You're not gonna talk to me? You're not gonna explain yourself? I demand that you explain yourself right now, because I am starting to get really pissed. And you don't want to see me when I am pissed, because I am capable of horrible things. Alright?
Shortly after, John started screaming, saying that he saw a face up in one of the treetops. He then ran off, disappearing into the underbrush. I looked to where he had been pointing and saw only a North American gray squirrel, mundanely pruning itself. Harry Undersacks and I looked at each other. We both had the same look in our eyes that said, "Let's bloody well roll the fuck out of here." Disappointed, we returned back to Manchester. It seemed that the cookie flower would forever remain a mystery. 2 weeks after returning, we received a package from Jill. Inside was a soiled VCR cassette tape. Scrawled on the VCR tape, in green crayon, were the words, "Cookie Tree." Cookie was spelled incorrectly. The tape had been found by some hunters in the forest. Lauren was still unaccounted for. There was very little video to salvage, as it contained much footage of Lauren talking about in vague detail the many survival skills he now knew, that in a forest environment would be both pointless and absurd. There was a 30-minute oration about how if he only had some snow, whalebone, and muskrat hides, he could build an authentic Inuit Indian ice house. This is the footage from his tape.
So you're looking for a tree that's had the pot here bitten off by the animal. You can tell right down there is where you're going to have a delicious meal. Well, got to get digging.
Fucking fly.
You're going to dig down about 4 inches at the base of the tree here, and when you get down to this mossy undergrowth, soon you'll be getting to, if you can see it, just, here it is. Dinner is served. I would much rather have a bowl of orange marmalade to dip this in, but it ain't happening today out here, brother. Gotta be good. Take what you can get. You gotta eat it, get all the nutrition to burn the calories, because we gotta finish this mission.
We found the previous scene to be the least disturbing display of Lauren's survival skills to broadcast on television. And then, there it was.
The flowers. Oh shit.
Seeing the cookie flowers for the first time, I was overwhelmed with emotion. How could something so lovely entail such a horrible curse? For you see, according to legend, anyone who eats of the cookie tree will fall under the Witch of the Woods spell, making them susceptible to the demons that dwell there.
To protect yourself from the demons in the woods, you must not eat. You must not eat the flowers. I've got the flowers.
However, the temptation proved to be too seductive, and he was curious to see if the flower's reputed magic would possibly remedy his sudden and frequent, loose stools.
I think it's the witch. I don't know if I can do it.
People say the Witch of the Woods cast a spell upon Lauren that left him a bit dippy and dumbfounded after he had eaten the tree cookies. The video footage was later viewed by a team of expert researchers who discovered that he had mistakenly identified and eaten a rather noxious tree root that grows in close proximity to the proper one. In the spring of 2013, Lauren filed suit against Bear Grylls, claiming he was responsible for his misfortune. The case was dismissed even before it started after Lauren attacked the official monitoring the metal detector at the courthouse. A dispute arose and he bit off the man's left pinky finger, claiming the official had only given him back 43 of the 47 cents he had placed in the security tray. We tried to contact Jill over a period of several weeks with no response. We then received an indecipherable email from her with this video attachment. She is still recuperating from her injury.
Here, there was a huge tree, and it had cookies on it. Great big old cookies.
John changed his name to Ragatabodanjanapapa and dwells among the Batwa Pygmies with his 4 wives and 17 children, all named John. Please come back again next week as we go once again to America and visit Louisiana, where we will meet the Snake Man of Abita Springs. Our cameras will be rolling as he tries to break the current world record for most deviled eggs eaten while underwater. Thank you for joining us this evening at BBC World News Special Documentary. I'm Poppy Kokonas. Good night.